Hello everyone, Chastity here. It's been a few different times that I had attempted to make a video and reach out to each one of you, checking in, seeing how everyone's doing, and just kind of call the guides in and see what's up. And every single time I would get to recording, it would shut off mid-record. My phone would start acting funny, something would happen. And now I figured, well, let's just give it another shot. So perhaps this is a better timing and to get the messages out that need to come out. So it's been a little while since I've reached out. We've had a lot happening in our light bodies. We've had a lot happening in our environments, in the world around us. A lot of different things going on in social media, a lot of things in the mainstream media. And so we're still under a lot of mandates. We're still under a lot of government mandates. Everybody's state is going to be a little bit different, so that plays a big difference for each of us in how we navigate our environment. There are a couple really exciting things that I still choose to see, and that is that time has kind of, in a sense, become, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but I find time is pretty elusive, right? I don't see time as a linear construct, and I'm able to see multiple timelines at the same time. So what that means is that I'm able to see what kind of I see in the moment, but I can also see overlays, and I can kind of see, I guess the best way to explain it would be past, present, future, and being able to discern what's currently happening in between those times. And I don't know if that's 100% making sense, because it's kind of mind-bending, and I just try to put in the most simple terms for everybody to understand. It's basically timelines on top of timelines, kind of, and then they, in a sense, they intersect, but not directly intersect. So probably not doing a very good job explaining it or understanding it, but I can see all of it happening at once. So one of the things that I'd like to say that I have noticed is, and it's interesting because I was listening to a class of my own, not that I was teaching, but another class that I was listening to, and it had been mentioned there is no way to discern, no way to really kind of see what's happening in the future. And I've actually always kind of thought that anyway. You can't actually identify what's going to happen. You can see potential outcomes and know that choices that you make in the moment can potentially change how things turn out. So one of the communities that I'm involved in is it's called Energetic Synthesis, and a gal named Lisa Renee runs. It's her group basically, and so she was sharing that, and I loved the explanation that I heard, is that we're in the no time right now, right? So we're in the 0 point, and that's something that you hear me talk about, or that my students and my clients hear me talk about often, is being, finding yourself at 0 point. And I see 0 point as kind of the eye of the storm, right? Where everything is still. And you're able to see everything that's happening around you and really take the time when you're standing and when you're really in that no time or that 0 point aspect of the matrix, that you can go in and stand there and see things with better discernment, right? So one of the things that we focus on is really not living in fear, understanding where fear comes from, and understand that it's something that's in our pain body. And when we're allowing our pain body to be the expressive piece, then we are generally living from ego and in fear. And these are actual programs that are inserted into our construct, our being, into our matrix, into different timelines and different aspects of self. And there are definitely things that we have to overcome here in the world, on Earth, while we're trying to figure out who we are, where we're from, what we're made of, what is our purpose. And so things are so chaotic lately, since the mask mandates, and the people a lot of people have lost their businesses. A lot of people have lost what they see as their freedom, their freedoms, their rights. And it's happening right before our eyes, right? And it's very important to keep track of this, pay attention to it, understand that there's a purpose for it, understand that these groups, entities, beings, the cabal, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call them, the controller groups, the archons, they're really losing a battle against God. And they're grasping for straws. And so what they have to try to do to up the ante is it's almost like they've taken everything out of the toy box, right, or out of their little magic box of tricks, and they're just throwing it all out there. Okay, well, this didn't work, so now we have to incite the race wars. Now we have to incite the fact that we're going to be sick all the time. So they want to be able to control us 100%, and what's happening is they're not going to be able to, because we're at the end of an ascension cycle. We're at the end of a cycle that humanity connects and wakes up. We remember who we are. We remember why we're here. There are so many different kinds of beings here on this planet, and that's I think pretty unusual. There aren't very many places where it's so diverse, and humans aren't designed, we're not made to live outside of love. So what has happened is, they figured out how to connect into the planetary brain and understand, we are connected. We are the planet, right? We are a microcosm or a mini map of the planet, of our galaxy, just like the bottom of your feet. If you're thinking in reflexology terms, just like the bottom of your feet are mini maps of your body, right? There are organs, the spine. You've got your lungs and your kidneys, your intestines, your hips, your arms, all these things, and just right at the bottom of your feet. And that's a map of your whole body, so you can speak through the feet to your body. And that's just one modality. But understanding that our body is a replica of the earth, okay? So if they can go into these grids and manipulate them and understand how to harness power, which they have done, then they learn how to harness our power. We're actually powering up the grids for them. We're actually running these programs for them because they're running in reverse. So they actually use, remember, we're multidimensional electromagnetic beings, okay? The power that we have in our light bodies, and our consciousness here doesn't always remember this, but we're waking up to that. That's what the Great Awakening is really understanding our power, understanding who we are. And so as we continue to wake up, we're actually taking back our power, our sovereignty. We're sovereign beings. And we're taking that back, and we're getting pieces of Mother back into the earth, right? And, for so long we've been controlled with the Saturn moon matrix, and the moon has just really wreaked havoc, especially as females, on our female bodies, on our consciousness. It's really created this whole phantom idea of having a dark mother, a reversal mother, right? And so we've been putting all these energies into a false ascension idea, and a mother of that. I don't know if any of you watch Coraline, that movie Coraline, but it kind of reminds me of that, right? This mother that is, through these Coraline goes through this little dimensional door, and out pops the world, and the worldscape looks exactly like the same world she lives in, but everything is perfect. It's everything she would have ever wanted. And come to find out, the actualization is that the mother is an evil, dark entity, right? She's got buttons for eyes. She doesn't have a soul, and what she does is she's feeding off the wants and needs that Coraline wishes for, because her parents are always working, right? And so she feels they don't ever have time for her, though this one has time for her, but then there's a price to pay, and that price is your soul. That price is the soul. And so, many of us have actually taken the chance in we really sell our soul, and that's the old adage of selling your soul to the devil, right? So without clearing these fear programs that are in our body, so the lower dimensional, the first dimension, or the first harmonic, I guess I should say, if that makes sense, and we can talk about that another time, but the lower aspects would be the first, second, and third chakras, and that is, where the pain body is. That's where we have programs like poverty. Some of the fears that we have are being in poverty, and that's one of the things they amp up by lockdowns. Increase the lockdowns and shut people down. They can't work anymore. People losing their businesses, they can't make money. How are they going to pay their bills? Where are they going to live? Those kinds of things. And hi, sweet girl. And then we have a lot of sexual issues with humanity. We have gender issues. We have sexual exploitation. Clearly, we're dealing with, and we're finally starting to see this in the mainstream media, is the satanic ritual abuse and the abuse, the pedophilia, the abuse of children, women and children. And it's not just women and children. But, that incites a memory of other huge wars and cataclysms and times when, other holocausts that have happened here on Earth, right? But there are also wars that have happened on a galactic level. And by creating something called a false flag event, and there are several of them happening, they incite those natural, instinctual, I'm not saying the right words, but the memories is what I'm looking for, the memories of these wars and these fights. So having the memories of those coming to the surface, and we don't even understand sometimes what we're fighting against or what we're angry against, where it's really coming from, because it's not even actually what's happening in now time. That is just triggering other things that weren't healed previously. So by taking back our sovereignty, by remembering who we are, right, we're starting to, and we have so many amazing grid workers out there, so people actually working in the grids, seeing all of this stuff on a planetary level. They're able to go in, see what's happening in all of these energy fields, right, the Earth's brain, and go in and actually clear it, right? They have the power, the ability, the frequency, and the know-how to go in and clear it. And so we've had this has been going on for many, many years, and more grid workers are waking up to the realization of this is, who they are and what they do, what they're capable of doing. And some of us are, like myself, I work specifically with different frequencies, the frequencies of the body, being able to see multidimensionally, working with multidimensional and interdimensional beings, understanding different languages, those kinds of things, to go in and help the body. Because when we heal ourselves, when we free ourselves of fear and remove our mind from that mind control matrix, we're healing the planet. We're healing our ancestors. We're healing our own lineages, okay? Forward and backward, we're healing these timelines. And those of us that are waking up to remember this, there's a bunch of us have been awake for quite some time, and those of us that have been awake are here to help guide and assist in the next steps, for what's going on. So really, I just want everybody to remember how powerful and amazing you are, and that you're a sovereign being. You're an electromagnetic being, and we are able to create our realities. That is so important to know. It's so important to understand that nobody has the power to make you feel inferior, to make you feel sad, to make you angry. Nobody can make you feel a certain way. You have the power to choose how you feel. And if we're feeling any of these things that would be considered or looked at as bad or wrong or whatever, just take those words out and remember, you don't have authority over me. I am a sovereign being. And choose how you feel. Choose what you think. It's not easy at first, right? But it's important to understand that clearing the ego mind, clearing that ego construct, clearing that fear matrix that has been imposed upon us, that we have been living in for thousands of years. Start to clear it out. Start to recognize it. Recognize first that it's a program running in your lower in the lower harmonics, in the lower dimensions of humanity. Okay, it's in the reptilian brain. It's in our light body. There are all these different things that are happening. Some of what you remember is not even real. And we can get into that a whole nother time too. Some of the things that you hear in your head, even if it sounds like your own voice, it's not organic to you. Okay? It's not real. It seems very real, but it's not organic to you. It's not organic to the human template. Okay, to our silicate matrix, to our crystalline, we have crystalline bodies, right? We want to continue ascending and bringing that consciousness in, bringing those memories in, opening up. So just take an opportunity to just open your heart and allow Mother to come in, these Sophianic, beautiful, soft waves. You may notice that they're an aqua blue, a blue mist, a blue plasma, all different kinds of ways that you'll feel these infuse in your body. Mother is of great healing. Mother is not the dark mother that everybody has been attuned to or acquainted with. And this has nothing to do with your shadows, clearing the fears and clearing the shadow. That's not it. And I'm not stating that as these arise, they're not going to be difficult or challenging to look at through the eyes of the Christ or through the power of compassion as a compassionate witness. And that's ideally what we want to be. That's what we want to become. And we want to harness that compassion. We want to harness and remember who we are and hold steady and steadfast with people that want to intimidate us and hurt us, and remember that we're going to come from a harmless, kindful space, right? Remembering that we, in our heart, we are love. When we vibrate, when we understand what love is, and love is not a feeling. And I'm going to repeat that because it's really important to understand, and it's taken a long time to get here and a long time to really comprehend this. Love is not a feeling. Love is a frequency. Okay? Love is a frequency, and I'm going to let you sit with that for a little while, because when we vibrate at the frequency of love, all is love. We cannot see outside of that in any other way. When we see love in each moment, everything is of love. We might think that we feel love, but we are love. Fear is a feeling, right? Fear is something that we are either controlled or conditioned, I should say, to experience. So fear is a controlled, we're experiments, we are experimented on, and fear has been our nemesis, okay? So in a frequency or a spectrum, right, love is the highest vibration that we are, that we can express from, that we can express as. It's a frequency. These are quantum frequencies, okay? And fear is the lowest of the frequencies. But it's also it's the frequency that the controllers have tuned us into and chained us down to, okay? And we're beginning to set ourselves free. And that's really the goal here, is to set yourself free. And by setting yourself free, it's about seeing the love in every moment, looking your fears in the face and relabeling them, understanding that that is not you, it's not who you are, it's not what you are, it's not what you're going to become. Remembering that you get to create your reality, you get to create your future. And I know we have some really scary things happening right now. There are things in the worldscape. I know that I fight very heavily with or by. I'm a proponent of people understanding what vaccines are and what they do, who makes them, why do they make them, understanding what those types of frequencies do to our light body. If we start looking at ourselves as frequencies and we start looking at everything around us as frequencies, and we understand that a frequency carries intent, then what do you want to be in consent with? What is organic to the silicate matrix? What is organic to humanity? What is organic? And in terms of that, look up, I implore each of you to really do some research on what we put in our bodies, whether that be vaccinations or it be food, and what's attached to that food, and why do we not hear about making ourselves well, making ourselves better? Why do we not hear about how to raise our frequency? Through meditation. So being at still point, being in the still point, being in the no time, the 0 point. What does meditation do for the synapses of our brain? How does our brain work? Why do they not teach us? Why do only doctors, for instance, according to the way we live, why do only they get to know how the brain works? It's your body. Why are they not teaching us that our parasympathetic, our sympathetic, and our vagus nerve need to work together in a holy trinity, a sacred triad? And how does that affect us when they're out of balance? There's so much to go into. What do masks do? Well, if we're talking in terms of what's going around now with this virus that they say is going to kill so many people, really feel in your heart. Really think about this from your heart. The particles, I'm not intending for anything that I say to be medical advice at all. This is all just only from my own experience, my own knowing, my own research, and really we are our own best advocate. But, even if we go into just simple understanding of breath, particles, just virus particles, especially these particular viral particles, are very, very tiny. They get through masks. What do masks do? There are different kinds. I implore you to research them if you don't know. And but what is the silencing of humanity, and what does that look like? How far can they push us and keep us in fear and afraid? If too many sheep get out of the pen, then they've lost control. And that's exactly what's happening, right? It's like we are seeing the wizard behind the curtain and realize that it's just this scary or this goofy looking old fat man, right? Anyway, I could go on and on, but I just want to share with each of you to really remember who you are. Go along with what we have to go along with, and all the while, even if you have to put a mask on to shop. I forget what the Yeshua said, something along the lines of "Give to Caesar what is Caesar's," or I'll just obliterate it because I can't remember all these parables. But remember that when you put your mask on, should you need to, when you put it on, just silently say to yourself, I am a sovereign free being and I do not consent. It's going to change the intent. It's going to put you in alignment with not consenting with their black magic tactics. And I work with lots of beings and have a very vast knowledge in black magic, how it works, how it runs, and how it affects individuals, human beings, how it affects all kinds of things. So structures, anyhow. Just sending each of you love. I've talked for a really long time, probably rambled on, but if I feel compelled to talk, which I have been, then perhaps you've learned something or remembered something, and eye contact is really great, touch is really great, and sometimes the sound of somebody's voice or the words, just remembering that we're all here for different reasons, and I'm trusting that I'm speaking clearly and and that codes come through to whom they need to reach and get to. So I am so happy to answer any questions. I have been doing more online remote healing sessions. I'm really excited because I have a book coming out, and I'm one of, I think, 17 or 20 of us, I can't remember how many, are a collaborative effort for this book, Evolutionary Healers. And there are some amazing people that have written from their experience on some really cool topics. I also have a retreat coming up with some fabulous women, and I'll get that information out pretty soon. That'll be in November on Bainbridge Island, and only a limited amount of people can come. So I'll get that out as soon as I can. And I am, like I said, offering online remote healing. I do frequency work. I work with alien implants. I work with memory traumas, sexual trauma. Work in the multi-dimensional fields, demonic removals. I have a vast understanding in demon removals, clearing spaces, and all the while, when you have sessions with me, I do teach you how to help and slowly work with yourself, understanding that, learning how to heal yourself and understand how your structure, your light body works is very, very important. So it's always part of your sessions is explaining how things work, what they're doing, and I'm always here to support you. So you can book online at theartofmeta.com. And if you feel so inclined, I hope to be sending out a series of free meditations. Isn't that funny? Sorry about the little glitch there. My Siri apparently talked. Oh, here she goes again. I shouldn't have said that word. Anyway, theartofmeta.com is where you can book. And if you feel so inclined, you can also donate. And my hopes is to be able to do more YouTube stuff. I have a YouTube channel as well. And anyway, much love to you guys. I have so much to talk about. If there's a topic you would like me to bring up and discuss, I am happy to do that. So toss it out there, and we'll see what we come up with, okay? Much love. Bye, guys.